Hello. It might not have escaped everyone's attention that the world seems to be in a frenzy of riot right now. I'm going to be talking about what's going on in the Netherlands and Belgium and Austria. But of course, in the USA, it appears to be like a tinderbox, likely to flare up into fire and mayhem at even quite minor incidents and certainly still less rather larger ones. And it appears to be ongoing. In Europe, there are similar troubles going on, and there are similar photographs of, fires and destruction. But in this case, it's over what people see as the mismanagement of the COVID problem. I'm inclined to think that they both emanate from a similar source, though. That is, in both cases, it has to do with the dissatisfaction many people have with how our governments are managing things at the moment. And there's a sort of general feeling that government has started to think it's there not so much to represent as to repress. And, let's go to Austria. They've not only passed a law forcing every adult to submit to a vaccination, I think that's due in February, but right now the unvaccinated are living under severe restrictions. I saw a video, I'm sorry I can't find it now, but it's a video of police in a dress shop demanding to see the vaccination status of the customers. I don't know what they do when they find someone who doesn't have the appropriate documentation, but, well, I rather imagine that it'd be like that scene in Logan's Run where the Sandmen find a woman who is obviously over 30 with a red indicator in her hand, and she's telling them it's all a mistake before they do away with her. So I want to mention as much as I can what I find strange about the restrictions and lockdowns in Europe at the moment. And look, I want to warn you, I am speaking as somebody who has had 2 vaccinations. No, I know that's unpopular with some of you. I do know that I actually lost subscribers from people who were very angry with me about that. Now, I did, and to the extent that I did actually consider not mentioning this, but I have to. You see, although I avoid telling you too much about my private life, I don't lie to you about my principles. And so I ask you to be tolerant of my principles as I'm tolerant of yours. Don't fall into the Austria trap. Their laws about the COVID vaccine are just as intolerant as the attitude of some about people not having the vaccine. To my mind, it's a matter up to the individual. If you don't want it, then I'm cool with that. But it's a personal thing. So I expect you to extend to me that same courtesy. However, I do have to ask a question. We now know that the vaccine doesn't stop you from getting the disease. What it does is reduce the symptoms, generally, and reduce the chances of you ending up in an ICU. So look, these are statistics from Israel, and they're statistics. What more can I say? So that's great. However, you can be asymptomatic, and so and you're still passing the disease on. The vaccine doesn't stop you from transmitting the disease. So what's the point of isolating the unvaccinated? They are no more dangerous than the vaccinated. In fact, they might be less so because they're more likely to show symptoms. I do find that very strange, and a lot of it, other things around it, doesn't seem to make logical sense. For instance, at present, again, let's go back to Austria, unvaccinated people can go to work, I think, and they can shop for food. But they can't go into, for instance, cafes and dress shops. Let's face it, where are you more likely to meet people? In a dress shop or in a supermarket? And in a supermarket, you're more likely to meet entire families. Old people, children, mothers and fathers, all out in the supermarket. Not just a couple of women on an afternoon out trying to find a party dress. So again, I have to say that it doesn't appear to make sense. And I'm sure that's what all those riots are about. It's a lot of people like me, angry that their governments don't appear to be making sense anymore. And that's enough to unsettle anyone. And sometimes, of course, to unsettle them to the point where they actually want to go out on the streets and demonstrate. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Grambo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.